Hello, I'm Joseph Hoffman, and in this lesson, we're going to learn all about the interval of a perfect fifth. And at the end, we'll play a listening challenge to help train your ear to be able to identify perfect fifths by sound alone. The perfect fifth is one of the most important intervals in music. It's the distance of 5 notes in a scale from tonic to dominant, or from do to so. You can hear it in so many places, like the theme from 2001: A Space Odyssey, which they also used in the Barbie movie. That opening interval is do to so, a perfect fifth. You can also hear it in the ABC song. A, B, C, D, perfect fifth. It's in the Superman theme. Bum, 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 bum. That's also a perfect fifth. So now, to the piano keys. Now, let's learn how to find perfect fifths on the piano. One way is to simply use a major scale. So let's take C major. C is tonic, so simply count 5 notes up from tonic. With tonic as 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. C to G is a perfect fifth. What if we wanted a perfect fifth above E flat? Well, we can use the E flat major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. E flat to B flat is a perfect fifth. Now, to use this technique, you need to know the patterns of whole steps and half steps in a major scale. So here's a little hand shape you can use. Can you make this shape with your hand? Where all the fingers are spread except for fingers 3 and 4 are touching. This can be a little trick to remind you the whole step and half step pattern in the first 5 notes of any major scale. We have a whole step, half step, whole step. And you can apply that to any key. For example, let's take F. What if we wanted to find a perfect fifth above F? Well, using this code, whole step, half step, whole step, we know we need a whole step, which means there's always one key in between, black or white. So we have a whole step, another black key in between. Then we need our half step, which is why we go to B flat. And then we need another whole step. One key in between, black or white, makes a whole step. So that's our 5-finger major scale or pentascale to show us a perfect fifth above F is C. So if you just remember this pattern of whole steps and half steps, you can find a perfect fifth anywhere. Let's try a harder one. What if we're starting on B? Pause the video if you'd like to try and figure it out on your own. Going on, let's do a whole step. Remember, a whole step always skips one key, black or white. It doesn't matter, black or white. A whole step will always skip one key. So we skip this white key to get that whole step. Then we need a half step, and then one more whole step. And that brings us exactly a perfect fifth. Now remember, in an earlier lesson, we learned about perfect fourths, which is 2 whole steps plus a half step. So notice a perfect fifth is just a perfect fourth plus one more whole step. You can go back and watch my lesson on fourths if you need a review. So now let's have you try some on your own. Now that I've shown you a few, can you find a perfect fifth above A? Pause if you need more time. Point to the key, a perfect fifth above A on your screen. If you're pointing here, you're correct. How do we do that? We find a whole step, half step, whole step. The half step's always between 3 and 4, or mi and fa, do, re, mi, fa, so. Perfect fifth above A is E. Can you find a perfect fifth above E now? Point to it on your screen. You can pause if you need more time. The correct answer is B. We have a whole step, half step, whole step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect fifth, E to B. If you got that correct, great job. Let's go on to another one. Can Can you find a perfect fifth above G? Point to it on your screen. Pause if you need more time, but the correct answer is D. We have a whole step, half step, whole step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or do, re, mi, fa, so. Let's try a trickier one. We'll start on a black key this time. Can you find a perfect fifth above A flat? Point to it on your screen. If you're pointing right here, you're correct. How do I find that? Whole step, half step, whole step. Do, re, mi, fa, so brings us to E flat, A flat to E flat. And let's try one more. Can you find a perfect fifth above B flat? Point to it on your screen. If you're pointing right here to F, you are correct. We have a whole step, half step, whole step, do, re, mi, fa, so. There's the perfect fifth. Now, I want to notice a pattern together. Most perfect fifths go from a white key to a white key or a black key to a black key. So if you have a white key, you want to find a perfect fifth above, it's almost always going to be another white key and vice versa. The only exception is when you're on a B. So be careful for Bs. If you're on a B, you'll notice because we naturally get these double half steps on the white keys, that's why we need to go up an extra half step from B to F sharp is a perfect fifth, or from B flat to F is a perfect fifth. So B and B flat are the only time you bridge from a white key to a black key or a black key to a white key. Otherwise, you're always going to stay like to like. Perfect fifth, perfect fifth, perfect fifth, perfect fifth. Now, let's finish today with a listening challenge. I want you to not only train your fingers and your mind for piano, but also your ears so you can hear these intervals and recognize them in the music you're playing or listening to and trying to figure out. So I'm going to play an interval without showing you what I'm playing, and I want you to say out loud, is it a perfect fifth or not a perfect fifth? If it's not a perfect fifth, you don't have to tell me what it is. Just recognize that it's not. Bonus points, though, if you do recognize the interval, because we're going to be some intervals we've studied recently. So you can challenge yourself and try and get that bonus point if you like. Here's a hint. If you hear an interval that sounds like the start of the ABC song, A, B, C, D, that's a good way to remember what a perfect fifth up sounds like. For down, some people like to use the Flintstones theme. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. That opening, Flintstones, Flintstones, is a downward perfect fifth. Also, what shall we do with a drunken sailor? If you know that folk song, I learned that in middle school. I don't know if people sing that much anymore, but that's also a downward perfect fifth. Now, also note that it's easy to get perfect fourths and perfect fifths mixed up. I mix them up all the time when I'm trying to listen and identify an interval. The reason is very simple. If you'll notice, a perfect fifth is simply an inversion, or a perfect fourth is an inversion of a perfect fifth. Here's a perfect fifth. If I put the C on top, oh, now it's a perfect fourth. So C and G, depending on how you arrange them, could be a perfect fifth or a perfect fourth. That's why they're so easy to mix up. They have a very similar sound. But if you'll remember the songs for perfect fourth, that can help. Here Comes the Bride is our interval for perfect fourth, or O Come All Ye from O Come All Ye Faithful for the down perfect fourth. All right, let's play the game. Here's your first interval. Tell me if you hear a perfect fifth or not a perfect fifth. Here it is again. The answer is, it is a perfect fifth. A, B, C, D. There's that perfect fifth sound. Here's your next one. Here it is again. What did you hear? If you said not a perfect fifth, you're correct. I played a major third. Do, re, mi. Here's the next one. Here it is one more time. What did you hear? If you said not a perfect fifth, you're correct. I played an augmented fourth, E flat up to A. You hear that kind of bizarre dissonant sound? That's a clue that it's not a perfect fifth. Here's the next one. One more time. What did you hear? If you said perfect fifth, you're correct. We did F to C, A, B, C, D. And here's another one. One more time. What did you hear? If you said not a perfect fifth, you're correct. I played D flat to G flat, which is a perfect fourth. You can recognize from Here Comes the Bride. Okay, let's do some going down. Here's your next one. One more time. What did you hear? If you said perfect fifth, you're correct. I played E down to A. Remember, you have Flintstones, meet the Flintstones to recognize that. Or some people like to just think in their mind, so, fa, mi, re, do. Think of the scale and count the notes in between. So, fa, mi, re, do, so, do. That's a perfect fifth. Here's your next one. One more time. What did you hear? If you said not a perfect fifth, you're correct. I played D to C, which is a major second, because we have one key in between, so we know that's a major second. Here's another one. One more time. What did you hear? If you said perfect fourth, you're correct. Or, that's bonus if you could recognize what it was. For this game, all you have to do is say, is it a perfect fifth or not a perfect fifth? And this one is not. I played a perfect fourth, which you could recognize from Oh, Come All Ye Faithful. And let's do one last one. One more time. What did you hear? If you said perfect fifth, you're correct. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. Or So, fa, mi, re, do was a perfect fifth. Now, if you didn't get all those correct, that's totally normal. When I first started doing this kind of ear training, it was in college, and I had a lot of work to do to train my ears to hear intervals like this. Be patient, review this lesson a few times this week, and keep practicing on your own. Train your ears to hear and recognize these intervals. Great job learning about perfect fifths today. To help you get even more practice with perfect fifths, I've made a theory page focused on perfect fifths, which you can download from the Hoffman Academy website. Thanks for watching and learning with me, and happy practicing!
Did you know that the ABC song has the same melody as Baa Baa Black Sheep?
No way!
Sure, listen. A, B, C, D. Ba ba black sheep.
Wow! Did you know that both of those songs have the same melody as Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star? What? Twinkle, twinkle. Huh?
That was the sound of my mind being blown.